It's a quiet and fresh morning when the wounds on my body start to scream. Ah! It was as if someone covered some knives with salt and pierced through my damaged body. Why do they start to hurt even more now? Didn't I just feel like heaven a moment ago? But where are those now? The cold air? The freezing wind? And the smell of trees? But why all the extreme pain now? Ah! I let out a loud screech. That must be really painful. My scream surprisingly stopped when a soft but gentle voice distracted me. I then decided to open up my tired eyes and was startled by my surroundings. Oh, why am I in this forest? Why am I not in my room? Did I just sleep here last night? I ask myself, but the same soft voice answers from behind. Oh, well, actually, you slept in my arms, and I just dropped you there. What? My mouth swung open, probably to the size of this forest. You have wounds all over your body, but you come out here to a forest and let the cold air touches your skin? I'm sorry, but are you trying to take your own life here? I freeze for a moment. His words bring me a series of flashbacks, reminding me of what happened yesterday. The wounds on my body, the rebellion, the kingdom, and the death of my parents. I threw my hands on my head and started to sob. How ridiculous am I to think that I'm still a princess? My head starts to shake violently as it tried to absorb the facts that the only family I had was gone. My parents left me forever. I'm sorry for your loss. I feel you. It just happened too quickly. I just can't. Landing his palm on my shoulder, he tries to console me. I quickly wipe my dripping tears and try my best to settle down. Thanks a lot, but who are you? Oh, I'm Daryl. I live here. I'm Autumn. Thanks, Daryl, for helping me last night. But why do you live in a forest? I had nowhere to go. I've just lost my father yesterday. I've been wandering around this forest ever since. Daryl's glossy eyes welled up, but he tries to look away. Can I ask what happened to him? The rebellion last night. My dad tried to protect the former king, so he got killed by those cruel people. But he was the only family I had. I was lost for words. How many more children have lost their parents because of my uncle? Millions of innocent lives were lost. But what can I do as a powerless princess? I can't help but wrap my arms around him and whisper across his sniffles, I'm here for you. I'm here for you. After a moment of silence, he pushes me away, His eyes become red and swollen. Thank you. So, where do you live? I can walk you home if you want. I have nowhere to go. I want to live here too. Can we live together here? No, we can't. Your wounds won't be healed in this cold forest. Don't worry. It will heal soon. Gotta be fine. I stand up and walk bravely into his tiny hut. I can see some cooking stuff here. How about this? You help to heal my scar, and I'll help feed you, okay? 'Cause it seems you don't know how to cook. Or do you? No, I don't. He let out a bare chuckle. You can sleep in the hut then. I'll sleep outside. A warm smile then slides across both of our faces. A few months went by, and it seems we are living our best lives. All of my wounds are healed, except that they left a few scars on my skin, which Daryl has been trying to get rid of. During the day, he would go deep into the forest and fetch some medicinal herbs, as well as some dry woods for cooking. Sometimes, he would come back with some delicious fruits and vegetables. When the night falls, we would enjoy dinner in front of the hut and watch fireflies showing off their yellowish green lights and dance for us in the dark. Quite romantic, right? I know. But Daryl seems to develop a strange habit though. Every midnight when I'm asleep, he always gets up and goes somewhere. Suspicious. I decide to follow him tonight. Who knows, he might be sneaking out to see his sweetheart. Dinner time, firefly show time. I called Daryl. He's making a campfire for us. I'll tell you something. Sometimes after dinner, Daryl likes to sit by the fire and gazes silently at the starry sky, and strangely enough, he would clench his fist very tightly. His dazzling eyes seem to always hold a deep mystery that I have no idea about. But at the same time, his blank stare always holds me completely spellbound. It's like there's a sparkle in his eyes that I can't just look away. A perfection, right? I know. You haven't blinked for a while, he says to me, still looking up. I try to keep calm, opening my mouth, but nothing comes out. Do you have something to tell me, Miss Autumn? No, I don't. Finally managed to spill out some words. Okay, but I do. My heart stopped. He suddenly starts to come closer, and silence fills in between us. His constant stare pierced through my eyes and reached every inch of my soul. And before I could do anything, he placed his mouth next to my left ear and let out a soft whisper. Your hair smells very sweet today. This dude then walks back to his place and goes straight to sleep like nothing happened. And here I am, trying to catch my breath and controlling my fright. But does my hair smell that good though? I'm trying my best to listen to his footsteps from inside the hut. A part of me is still thinking about the compliment I got. Was he Being honest, was the compliment really about my hair? Like, I haven't washed it for months and it smells sweet, but did he feel what I felt when he looked at me? Like, does he? All of a sudden, I heard some movements outside. I began to follow him quietly, but why is he heading to the direction of the palace? Daryl walks faster and faster, but stops still when a man with his face fully covered appears in front of him. I hide beside a large tree and try to pay attention to the conversations between them. The distance is not close enough, so I could only get a few words.
Revenge, kill, princess, people, the kingdom.
I cover my mouth, forcing myself to control the terror on my face. What is going on? Who is that man? What are they trying to do?